Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson. We're continuing, actually bringing to an end, our study of the suffering servant passage, Isaiah chapter 40 through chapter 56, verse 8 and we're going to begin with verse 55, the beginning of this epilogue, in just a moment. Um, but what I wanted to do today was to take just a few moments to introduce these last verses. So, 21 verses that we have that will end this passage. So, we've had the announcement of the coming of the Messiah. We've had Israel's sins enumerated, the consequences for those sins described, the promise of the Messiah, the realities of captivity, the judgment upon the captors, the reemergence of the voice of the Messiah, the promise of the joy of the Messianic age, then the hard look we had to take at the price it was going to what it was going to cost, the price it was going to be paid by the Messiah himself in chapter 53. And then God has told us in 54 to shout for joy and has promised us the blessings that all these blessings that we're going to have through the Messiah. And it has changed the situation completely in terms of our relationship with God, very much in the same way the flood experience changed our relationship and the earth relationship with God, life on earth's relationship with God completely. God at that moment said, I'm not going to do what I did before. The situation has changed, and the same has happened with the Messiah, but in a larger context with a much broader scope. And he's describing that in Isaiah 54, even looked forward to heaven in Isaiah 54. Okay, so the suffering servant passage started quite theatrically with a voice, right? And then another voice. It started with, "Comfort ye my people," and which is the way Handel's Messiah begins after the overture of Handel's Messiah. Then we have this tenor voice, unadorned, singing, comfort ye, my people." And that's the way the suffering servant passage starts, with the royal messenger arriving. Comfort my people, make the way straight, because the royal visitor is about to come. And the voice of one crying in the wilderness. That's how the suffering servant passage begins. And the suffering servant passage ends quite theatrically with another voice coming onto the stage. And that voice is saying, "Ho, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. If you have no money, come buy and eat. Come buy wine, milk without money, without cost." Another solo voice coming onto the stage of our consciousness, calling us. And that's what the epilogue is. It is a call. It is not just a call, it is the gospel call for us to come and to seek the Lord while he may be found. Even though it doesn't make complete sense that he would love us the way we are, his thoughts are not ours, his ways are not ours. But we can seek him and we can find him because we have a choice to make. And that's what the epilogue is. It is a call to make the choice, to embrace God, to follow God, to believe in the promises of God, and then to enjoy the blessings that those promises bring. And that's what we're going to be looking at in chapters 55 and 56. So much of this passage this epilogue connects directly with New Testament, with the book of Acts, with the preaching of the gospel. It is an evangelistic epilogue, very much so. And we're going to notice that it is. It's going to be about our relationship to God, our relationship with each other, and what we have waiting for us because God has sacrificed himself to offer us salvation. So we've come full circle, really. We started with a voice promising us comfort. That comfort has been delivered. We know what the cost is. We know why it costs so much. And now God is saying, I love you. And I told you my love for you will not be shaken. So now I want you to come home. Okay, we'll pick up with chapter 55, verse 1 next time. I believe that today, if my calculations are correct, we will have completed 7 years together of doing these slots. 7 years, and if my calculations are complete, we've done more than 1,800 of these slots over these 7 years. These little mini Bible studies, and I'm always, almost on a weekly basis, being contacted by somebody who's listened and who has made this part of your daily routine, mostly your morning routines. I always say, good morning, because I know most of you tell me that you're listening to me while you're getting dressed to go to work or something. You're enjoying these in the mornings. Sometimes I record them in the afternoon, but I'm always telling you good morning because I think you're listening to it in the morning. But I want to just take a second to say thank you for joining me these 7 years. We will continue on every time I think no one is listening or it doesn't really matter anymore. I have 3 or 4 people say, man, I really love your 5 good minutes. And it's the great way to start my day. So thank you so much for your positive feedback. And I know there are more than 100 of you that join on a fairly regular basis, and more than double that join us from time to time. And I'm just honored that you let me do what I enjoy doing, which is to talk about how awesome this book is, and how awesome every verse of it is. And anyway, I thought I'd take this moment at our 7 year mark to say thank you to all my listeners, viewers out there. And we'll pick up with Isaiah 55, verse 1 next time. Thank you for joining me for 5 good minutes.